There's good enough people to find me to watch. So right. Hello. Just so I can see. Fuck the headache, who cares? Hello. How is everybody? I figured I would come live for a bit. You know. Why the fuck not? I figured I'd come live for a bit before I go to bed. So. I know. But Grace, you're already in bed. Yeah, I know. Kind of been in bed, for, well, this weekend. Not because I was being lazy or anything like that, but because, and not because I wanted to. Because I'm not sure they'd be doing something else, but I need rest before surgery, I guess. Everything happens the way it's supposed to, right? But, this weekend was extremely cold. To the point where I had my thermostat set at 72, and it was so cold it felt like negative 14 outside, so my house got down to 50 to 52 degrees. That's how cold it was in my house this weekend. The temperature is back up to normal now, but I figure since I'm going to be having surgery in about 10 days, might as well just leave the stuff in here. So yeah. I've never lived anywhere where you have the thermostat set at 72 and it's 52 degrees in your house because it's so cold outside. That doesn't make sense to me. I lived in Colorado where there were blizzards. It didn't end up like that in the house. I don't understand it. And then the fucking and I got my gas bill, and I'm like, that don't make no sense for the $300 for a month. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, here's why. Because National Grid, the gas company, keeps increasing their thing every month. They increased it by 60 some cents last month. February, they increased it another 90 cents per unit, and they're increasing it little by little every month. And and the fucked up thing is, as fucked up as it is, it's illegal for them to do. Which is disgusting. Because you have people like me on low income and in elderly, disabled, things like that, and then it's illegal for them to turn off your gas during the winter. But when I sign something for a payment plan, whatever, right? I signed it 3 times, and then I get a final disconnection notice in the mail today. We're still in February. But here's the thing, not everybody knows that it's illegal for the gas company to turn off your gas during the winter. And that is a problem because people that don't know that, if they get so down and out, they could end up losing hope over everything and taking themselves out. And it's not right. It's like, I'm starting to wonder, does anybody have a soul anymore? Some do, some don't, and I seem to be able to tell who does and who doesn't by the responses I get from people when I say certain things. When I give scenarios, I do it in a very strategic way to see what type of person the person is I'm talking to, especially when it comes to trying to rip your customers off and things like that, or if you're, The amount of people I spoke to at the gas company today, I think only 2 of them had a soul. Because when I said, how would you feel, how would you feel if it was your mother who was in the house, and I explained it that way, their sister, and some felt really, there were like there was 2 of them that felt bad. And the other was like, well, man, this and it's like, that's your soul a long time ago, didn't you? I flat out said it, I don't give a fuck. When people, if you have no compassion, no human decency, no kindness, no empathy, you don't care what happens to other human beings in any you have no soul. You have no soul. If you don't, if you're okay with what's going on to human beings, you have no fucking soul. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. If you're okay with what's going on in this country and that, also, you have no goddamn soul. Okay? If you are supporting a Churn on Kid Rock, the wannabe, trailer park, washed up, has been, looks like he's 55, who actually grew up in a very wealthy, in a very nice house, and his family owned multiple car dealerships, and they had a barn and things like that for their horses. The washed up has-been 55-year-old who looks like he's in his 70s, who is a PDF aisle and sings about it as songs. You're okay with that shit? You have no fucking soul. And the only reason he got anywhere in his fucking career is because he lost his soul a long time ago. Anybody who's read the Epstein Files, I don't want to hear about it. I lived it. Anyone who's paid attention to anything I've said all this time, everything I've said, all my memories, all my fucking memories, everything that I've talked about, from my understanding, same exact shit is in those goddamn files. And there are multiple islands, not just Epstein. And it's been going on for hundreds of years. And it's time for these motherfuckers to pay for what they've done, even if I have to do it myself. Because evidently the FBI has concluded that Epstein was not a trafficker. Of course they decided that. Those are the lapdogs. They're in the fucking back pocket. I did a video yesterday on this account, and it has Coolio singing Gangster Paradise. It goes from him performing, but it's playing the song throughout the whole video. It goes from him performing to pictures of like Epstein, the Clintons, and others with all you gotta do is go look at the pictures, and if you look closely at the ground, it has bodies wrapped in sheets, and these motherfuckers smiling. And other fucked up shit I've seen posted on this app of these pictures, and people all talking about it, and people all of a sudden picking up on what Christianity really is, even though I've said it for God knows how long, and nobody believed me, and I was, well, y'all remember, right? Everything I've said. Christianity being made up by the Illuminati for evil to take over the world. Now people are, well, it's why the blood, why does grape juice symbolize the blood and the right? Same shit, like. Everything I've said. And now it's all coming out. Not really. You're gonna miss much. It's getting harder for me to come on this app. I come on this app not very long. Not very long, maybe 15 minutes, if that. Everything I've said. I come on this app. If I'm not live, I come on to just, mellow out, whatever, right? Just doom scroll, whatever. It's getting hard for me to do that anymore. Because it's getting a bit overwhelming. Because now these fucking files are out, which I'm glad they've been exposed, and I'm glad they're out and everything. But at the same time, not only are people talking about it, but people are posting pictures of things and that. And it's a bit overwhelming, and it's getting hard. I'm okay. I'm always gonna be okay. But it's time for these motherfuckers to go down, even if I have to do it myself. There are multiple islands. I didn't, there's a lot I don't remember, right? There's far, so much more that I don't remember than what I do remember. What I do remember is bad enough. We know this. But now y'all are anybody that's reading the files and that, which I will not. But you're seeing how bad it actually really was. And I didn't think that I could have been... I don't know if I'm in those files. I could be in those files. I've come across another survivor who's older than me, who's been to the islands. That's how I found out there's multiple islands. And if this woman is older than me, then that... So, I'm dealing with it the best I can. Hearing the shit I'm coming across. Seeing shit that I'm coming across. For the longest time, I never thought anyone would ever believe me because it sounds completely insane, right? Everything I've ever said sounds nuts. But obviously it's all true, because, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I'm really mixed up, full of a lot of different emotions right now. So many different emotions. I do it in another video, on my backup page, of one of their little get-togethers. And they thought the camera was off, and they are talking about islands. And one guy asks, what countries are nearby to abduct children? And they're talking about Thailand, and a bunch of other, Philippines, and they're all laughing, and yeah. And if you watch that video and you see my face there, you will... It's time for justice. Even if I have to serve it myself. Because here's the thing. I don't know how justice is gonna be served at this point. Yeah, if you go to my backup account, it's one of the very first, I'll tell you right now which video it is. I tried to do it on this account too because he came up on this account too, but it wouldn't let me for some reason.
So, someone from the country that gave us Jeffrey Epstein, gave us Diddy, gave us OnlyFans,
this is the shit I have to fucking...
ranks the highest in the production and the consumption of pornography. A country where 1,500 women are murdered every year in so-called domestic...
It is the video after... It's the first video after my pinned video. It's all real. Everything I said. And then some, clearly. Things I don't remember yet. It was a video I duetted of the Illuminati. They thought the camera was off, and they're talking about the island, one of the islands they had. And what countries were nearby where they could go to abduct children, and were there children on that island? What do you mean? What it was it from? It was a video I duetted on my backup account. It's not from a show or a movie. It's real fucking life. So I might be in those files. I might be in those files. And not even know it. You think it's just Epstein? Wow. You think it's just Epstein? This has been going on hundreds of years. You think it's just Epstein? No, Epstein's just the most popular, the most famous, whatever you want to call it. There are multiple islands. This has been going on for hundreds of years. It's all over TikTok and you don't know about the Epstein files, right? I'm one of the survivors. There's others. There's a lot of survivors from my understanding. From what I'm gathering now, I thought I was the only one, and now I'm coming across others, thankfully. One's old, people, some older than me, some younger than me. Finding out there's multiple islands. Hearing things that I know probably happened to me too, because they did it to all the kids. I probably would have been kept a lot longer and trafficked a hell of a lot longer if I hadn't escaped. If I hadn't escaped and been seen, God only knows how long it would have gone on. I think the only thing that stopped it was I escaped. I can't see without my glasses. I can see, but I can't read. I remember running. When I escaped, I was at the house. I was at Joan and Jack's house. I think somebody accidentally forgot to lock the cage. Or somehow I figured out how to unlock it and open it. Because I was able to make it upstairs, out the door, go down the block, up and across the busy street, and got to the elementary school before Linda caught up with me in the car. There was probably about 500 people, about 500 adults that I was passed around. Altogether, possibly even more, obviously. I was told by a couple people, who's entwined with that cult because he was a victim too, and another one I've known who for over 20 years who's part of that cult, who's also works for the United States government. What I don't remember is far worse than what I do remember, and I should have left it alone, is what they said, because it's so bad. And now, well, y'all, Epstein files are out, so. I only remember bits and pieces. I don't know. I know there's tunnels. There's a lot of tunnels. There's a lot of fucking tunnels. That apartment that I had that the tunnel was in that bedroom of mine, I don't think we lived there. I think we just went, I think I was just taken there, here and there. You want to trade lives with me and then we'll talk, Tori? Because I don't lie about anything. You know, ask anybody that's been watching me for any amount of time, the shit that you read in the Epstein files, I've talked about it before then. Before the files came out. About my memories and that. So I suggest you move along. So you're trying to re-traumatize a victim, right? A survivor? That's the dumbest thing you can fucking do, bitch. You left a digital footprint. You left comments. I do screenshot all the comments, like yours, when I'm done off my live, and I do go to the pages and I screenshot the usernames and the pictures, and then I have it for evidence to hand over to the proper authorities when the time comes. Because what you're doing is very illegal. Oh, you mean the one Scam Slam who's just a bully and everybody knows it? Darling, I suggest you go get a life. Because nobody likes a miserable human being that likes to try and re-traumatize someone that's already been through so much. You're miserable, pathetic, and nobody likes someone like you. Oh, you like to dish it out, but you can't take it, right? You can't take people saying what, you want to say whatever you want to say, but you don't want to face the fucking consequences, right? Is that about right? Right? You don't want to face the consequences for your comments. Right? Your fake account and all. The 10 followers, the 2 following. So pathetic. I'm gonna make you a mod because I don't know where my mods are right now. I can't make you a mod because you don't follow me. Do I have any mods on here? There's 35 people on here. Who's all on here? Because I'm not. I'm at the point where I'm not putting up with anybody's shit anymore. The bullshit fake accounts, the harassment, everything else. This has been like. And after everything I fucking said and it's been proven, I'm still dealing with this bullshit. People still trying to re-traumatize me. And trying to get people to doubt me and make me out to like I'm crazy or what the fuck ever. Scam or all this bullshit. That Scam Slam wench, I set up a GoFundMe to help me get to the UK and that, and for while I'm over there, to prove who I really am. To find out whether or not I am Catrice Lee. I have to do it myself because clearly if you pay attention to what's going on with the government, the FBI, and that they even said Epstein wasn't a trafficker, okay? That should tell you everything right there. So I have to go over there myself to So I set up a GoFundMe like some people suggested. I never asked for anything. This is the fucking first time. And so they do everything they can to try and discredit me, make me look like a scammer, a beggar, whatever the fuck. Even though I've showed evidence of everything, and all my memories that I've talked about, the same exact shit that other victims, other survivors have talked about, and What's in the Epstein files? I've been called everything but a white woman. I've been accused of the most horrific shit. They've been trying to re-traumatize me and trying to, you name it. I can't, I've had enough. And I'm still having to come to terms with the fact that I'm glad I know my memories are real and that I didn't imagine it. But at the same time, it's horrific, and I'm still trying to cope and deal with everything. And then now that the Epstein files are out, I'm seeing pictures, I'm hearing more things, and it's hard. It's in my bio, and I've talked about it, and I get recorded and posted to YouTube. My scam slam who does it to everybody because she's a fucking bully, because she has a fucking... The only scammer, really, is Scam Slam. Trying to make me out to be something I'm not, and she's done it to others, too. And she profits off of it because she has a gambling addiction. When people do what they're doing, like whoever the fuck that was on the fake account, because it was nothing new, they have no soul. I've been dealing with the bullying, the harassment, the stalking, and everything since the beginning of 2023. I didn't find out till the October of 2024 that I had been kidnapped. Don't know whatever happened to her. I don't, it was very strange, the whole thing, but it's been proven. I've had it confirmed, and obviously, there's no way I would be that child. And when I was going through trying to find out whether or not I was Tanya Michelle Williams, law enforcement thought I was Tanya Michelle Williams because I looked like the age progression. I look more like Catrice Lee's age progression, though. But there's a blog for Tanya Michelle Williams that someone was going on and posting anonymously the most fucked up shit about me. Most fucked up shit about me. On a blog for a missing child that I could have been. Of course, Tanya and I may have been around each other at some point. Because there was one picture that I remember that there was Sue and this child sitting on a bed upstairs at Howard and Alta's. It was on Howard's birthday, my understanding. Definitely wasn't me. But if I remember it looked like Tanya. I'm not positive. I'll show you. I have I have a birthmark in the same spot she does. I have a club thumb on my right hand. It looks like she has one, and then the mole hair. Zoom in on her picture on her face. It looks like she has the same mole in the same spot. But I'll show you. And I'll show you the picture of the suspect. The drawing of the suspect. And then I'll show you the woman who I grew up knowing as my biological mother. So let's see. Where is it? This is Catrice Lee. She went missing on November 28th, 1981, from Anafi on her second birthday. That's the age progression of Catrice Lee. This is the suspect, who they believe was a man. The sketch was done a year after the disappearance. This is Sue, who I grew up knowing as my biological mother. This is Catrice Lee's sister. This is her mom after the disappearance. It's her mom a couple of years ago. Then, where is it? When you're looking for something, then you can't find it, and then it drives you nuts. This is her parents after the disappearance. It's her father. He said his daughter is a gift and he wants his gift back. This is me. This is the youngest picture I have of me. This is the child they said was me. This is not me. There's no way. This child has blue eyes, blondish, reddish hair. This is not me. But this is me. This is Catrice Lee's sister back in the day, before the disappearance. Me. Catrice's sister. Not exactly. She would be older. She's older. But they have been looking for Catrice, for over 44 years now. They've been looking in Germany and then England and that because Catrice Lee was taken from West Germany. Her father was a sergeant major in the Royal British Army, and they were stationed in Germany. They got stationed there after her mom got pregnant with her, from what I've read. She was born on a British military base, so Catrice Lee would be a British citizen. November 28th that year of 1981 was 2 days after Thanksgiving. Bob and Carol, who I grew up knowing as my aunt and uncle, were stationed over there around that time because he was in the Army. I'm guessing that the family went over there for Thanksgiving to spend Thanksgiving with them. I tried to eat an orange the other day and about made me sick. Still can't eat anything orange. Yeah, at first I thought Carol was the abductor because her and Sue looked like they could be look so much alike when they had both had short hair. But Sue, it was 5'8", or is 5'8", between 5'8" 5'10". Carol's 5'2". You're not going to mistake a 5'2" for a man, but a 5'8" to a 5'10" woman you would. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I remember running up to the person, gave me the orange safety sucker. They picked me up, I put it in my mouth, I passed out. They had short dark hair. I'm alright. I'm hanging in there. When I put it in my mouth, I passed out. I woke up in the backseat of the car. I was very, very hot and sweaty, and everything was very bright. And the car, the seats were bench seats. They were tannish, beigeish, goldish. I know there were something to do with gold. The seats were a tannish, beigeish color or a goldish color. It's hard to in that area. You know what I mean? It could have been. I know I was transported at times in a trunk and in bags and that kind of thing. I remember bits and pieces. I don't remember everything. I could have been transported in the back seat of the car in a cargo ship. I woke up in the back seat of that car. Sue and Jack were in the front seat having a discussion. Sue said, "What if she remembers?" Everything I've said, huh? People didn't believe me. I'm still dealing with it, and I don't want to know what's in the files, but I hear enough and see enough pictures, and it's hard for me. So I'm dealing with it the best I can. Because I was told, I was warned that there are things, what I don't remember is far worse than what I do remember. I was warned. I've said that multiple times. I was warned long before now. And now it's all out. There's probably a lot that still isn't out. Do you know? It's so. For me to sit here and say I'm one of the survivors is like. Blows my fucking mind that I am. It blows my fucking mind that I am. Yeah, I remember who warned me things, or what I don't remember is far worse than what I do remember. It was, one was the person that's entwined with that cult because he was a victim as well, and then when he got to a certain age, he was taken around to the place, different homes to take care of the kids, take us out of the cages and that. But yeah, I think I still have his number too. And the other one was the guy I've known for over 20 years. That's part of that cult and also works for the government. At least he said he does. I wouldn't be surprised. And the things he told me were, he called me on a private line because I think the only reason he told me was out of respect for my ex, the one that passed away. They were like brothers. I know what you guys reading it, what you see and what you read is horrifying. Trust me, I know. But living it is something completely different. I don't want to be one of the survivors or one of the I don't want to be one of them. And to think the only reason it probably stopped was because I got out and I was seen. That's only I wholeheartedly believe the only reason the trafficking stopped was because I had escaped and I was seen in the neighborhood by their neighbors. Maybe that's why they had to get rid of the real Heather or whatever. Whoever that child was. I don't want to be one of the survivors. I don't want to be one of them. I don't want to be in those files. But I probably am. I hate crying. I'll be alright. See, I survived the worst. The worst was what already happened. The worst is over. Am I gonna, once everything's said and done, and I prove who I really am I gonna have to go to court? Probably, yeah. Am I gonna have to testify against some of the motherfuckers? Most likely, yeah. But am I gonna be okay? And am I gonna do it? Absolutely. I'm too stubborn. I ain't giving up, and I'm gonna make sure justice is served. Not just for me, but for all the others, too. Even if I have to make sure to, serve justice myself, I'll do it. Because then, after you find out, the more you find, I'm finding out more and more, right? Because these files have been released. And everything I've said, my memories. It's so weird and horrifying to know that my memories, what I've talked about, are in those files. I can guarantee you none of the victims, none of us survivors are going to read those files. We don't want to relive the shit. But seeing it and people talking about it on here all the time and showing pictures of it is just... still trying to, actually come to terms with the fact that it's all real and it really happened. And that I'm not crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy shit. I'm sitting here thinking about everything that's happened in this past couple of years. From all the people that had been talking mad shit about me, live streaming me, I still get recorded and posted. As far as I know, I don't give a fuck. All of it. And I'm still here. And everything I've said has been released in the fucking Epstein files. The memories I've talked about are in those goddamn files. Every memory I've talked about, all the bad shit I've said, it's all in the files. And I've heard other survivors talk about what they went through, and it's like listening to somebody tell my story. It's about... Thing is, I don't think the trafficking stopped after I escaped, and had they put me in that family as Heather, I think it continued, because that one apartment that I don't think we lived there. I think it was just a place she would take me to at certain times, and for me, to stay there to where they would, to where whoever could come up through the tunnels into the bedroom. I know that's where I got those scars. It's that house, that apartment. They tried to convince me that the scars, there are 3 scars, about 3 that are right lined up on my upper and right thigh. And they tried to they told me the whole time that it was from me jumping on the canopy bed, and I would unscrew the things and the screws would stick out. And they said I jumped on the bed and landed on the screw 3 times. I've had medical professionals tell me they're cigarette burns. They're scars. Cigarette burns. I've been told there's no way those are from what they said. So, there's something significant about that room and I don't know why. It's obviously very significant and it's very important, and I wish I knew where it was. I think I hang on and I'll show you something when you can tell me if it was. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. Whatever seems good. Hell, I can't even get the FBI to do their job to help me prove who I am. You think they're gonna compensate me for shit? So this picture of me has this on the back of it. It has a zip code. I'm guessing it's a zip code. It's 18810. But at the top, it says 6776. Is that what you mean by advertised? Like having a number assigned to you? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know if I was advertised, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously, I had to have been at some point. But, is that the kind of thing you're talking about? Grammy Tammy? I'm still trying to figure out what the 6776 is. You know what's real interesting too? No, later. I don't know when my real birth. Well, let's put it this way. So, what I'm thinking, I put a picture, my old school picture, into ChatGPT, and I put this picture into ChatGPT. It said that this picture I would have been 3 or 4. And my school picture, when I find it, I would have been about 6 or 7. Which, the school picture was taken in the school year, for the school year 86 and 87. Well, you fucking suck. So 1986 is when the school year picture was taken. Sorry, I was trying to... There's a newspaper clippings. I was trying to stop them flying every fucking where. It said, "This is me. That baby has birth defects." I don't know. See, the truth is, if we ever get justice, it'll be a miracle. FBI and law enforcement, they're in the back pockets. They're the Illuminati's lapdogs. They called her grandmother Hayden. I called her great-grandma. Where's that fucking picture? It's not here. It's here. Give me a minute. That, by the way, Alta, grandmother Hayden, that was one of the leaders. Already had death threats from a member from the South Africa after he found out what my legal name was, because, you know, I'm in their fucking book. Records, descendants of Nathaniel Eli. Interesting. See, Alta was a direct descendant from John and Priscilla Alden. Well, not direct, you know, years in between, but she was related, you know, great-great-great-great-granddaughter. I can't get them to help me. You think they're going to listen to me? I have recordings between myself and FBI. They laughed at me. They took it as a fucking joke and shit, so I'm not going to help me. I got to do it myself. This picture here. So, you guys tell me how old do you think I am in this picture? Once I flip the goddamn camera. Shit. There we go. Okay. So this picture here. How old would I have been, do you think? Yeah, my username, Heather McCord. Heather Stacy. 8 or 9. If I'm Patrice Lee, I would have been born November 28th, 1979. I was always told this picture was taken after this picture. But according to ChatGPT, it wasn't. I'm younger in this picture. And this is taken 1986. This picture, I have no idea when it was taken. But this is what's on the back of it. This is a zip code for Athens, Pennsylvania. I don't know what this means. And it's been bugging the shit out of me. I'm trying to figure out what this means. Well, then that doesn't help because I have no idea who the fuck I am then. But man, do I look real good for my fucking age if I was born in 76. 6'7", 76. No way. June 7th, 1976? That would have made me 10 in this picture. I look young for my age then, shit. I already thought people thought I looked aged like a vampire. Shit, you know? God damn. Okay, that doesn't help. If that's the case, then who the fuck am I? Where did I come from? And where do I start looking? We'll look it up. See if we can find something. Missing little girls that were born on 6/7/1976 with the name of Jennifer Lynn.
There are no records of a missing child named Jennifer Lynn, born on June 7th, 1976. The search results did return unrelated cases, such as Jennifer Lynn Fay, who was born in 1973 and disappeared in 1989.
Clearly that would not be me. Girls born on 6/7/1976 that would have disappeared in the late 70s, early 80s around the world. That didn't help. I don't know where to begin then if that's the case because I could have come from anywhere. I'm hoping that's not the case. Because I don't think I'm that old. I would have known if I was something, you know. I'm not that old. Chat GPT. So I know what it says. Alta and Howard Arion. Errion. Can you give me a list of little girls' names that disappeared in the late 70s, early 80s that were born on June 7th, 1976? None. None. They couldn't have passed. If I was born in 1976, they couldn't have passed me off for a child that was born in 1980. That's not gonna happen. And there is none. Um, because if I was like, how are you gonna pass a 10-year-old off for a kindergarten picture? Errion. But you got the Howard and Alta right. I always, and I find it rather odd that 11:23 for the birthday, born at 11:32 p.m. They just, let me read this letter. This was written by Reverend Kenneth Hayden on October 14th, 1957. Kenneth Hayden was Alta's nephew. Also Joan's cousin. See where it says Alta, it says grandmother Hayden. October 14th, 1957. Dear Joan, Jack, and Carol, just a short note to answer at least part of your letter and try to allay the fears of those who may be disconcerted about your church affiliation, I mean. Glad to hear you're getting settled and like it you better after such a long move. Glad to hear the news, too, about Carol and her progress and growth. I'll let Bond tell you about our personal life and news in general, except to say that I did get a lot out of my hospital experience. That's it for the pleasantries. Just that little bit. And by the way, this is a copy. He typed up 2 letters. Identical. Why would you have to have a copy? If it's a regular letter, right? Regarding the independent churches of our brotherhood, I couldn't begin in one letter to describe the differences between cooperative and independent churches. Some think it has to do solely with missions, but it goes on to our entire conception of the world the essential nature of man, inherently sinful from Adam or not, and many other things. Generally speaking, the cooperative churches, usually known as Christian churches, disciples of Christ, have in them a majority of people who are more liberal in their thinking towards the world, towards other denominational groups, towards ethical attitudes and actions, etc. On the other hand, the independent group, usually known as Churches of Christ, have in them a majority of people who are conservative or fundamentalist in their attitudes towards these same things. The difference is usually expressed openly in the desire to cooperate or not cooperate with our United Christian Missionary Society. The independents say that too much of the money contributed to the UCMS is wasted and doesn't go for missions. They prefer to operate independently and send direct support to some missionary of their variety who is in some foreign field. They fail to see that the UCMS has a total program which includes home missions as well as foreign missions. It also has religious education as part of their program, which includes, among other things, the financial support of those in our state societies who direct and help with our summer conferences and camps. Likewise, some of the support comes back into our state societies to pay for the state staff and its work in many fields of help to the local churches. But basically, it all stems from this general attitude towards life, conservative or liberal. However, you will find so many shades, from the extremist of independents who will not even cooperate with other independents to those who do cooperate with other independents, and still on to the conservatives who acknowledge the independents' point of view and will work with the independent churches, to those who are so extremely in the cooperative category that they will refuse fellowship to the independent brethren. It differs as to what part of the country you are in, and it may be different. It may be that California is entirely different than here in the Midwest. I know that is true in the states of Washington and Oregon by what some of our divinity school students tell me. And I know that the differences between the churches vary in Indiana and Ohio, but generally speaking, these are the reasons for the different viewpoints. Knowing your background and assuming some things about you and Jack, I feel quite sure that you would agree with Graham and myself and others in our family that we would take the liberal view towards matters such as these. In other words, we will want to be inclusive rather than exclusive. A good place to find out such information is to get a hold of a yearbook from our international convention, if the church is listed in there, and if they also contribute to our program, they are a cooperative church. The 1956 yearbook, which I have, shows us about Long Beach churches. Contributing, which are cooperative, is Bixby Knolls, East Side, North, and Palo Verde. Non-contributing, probably independent, is Dominguez First, Lakewood Church of Christ, Perkside Church of Christ, and Westside Church of Christ. Notice that all of the cooperative group are known by Christian Church, but that two of the non-cooperative churches are also known by Christian Church. In addition to what I've said, these independents usually teach a conservative interpretation of the Bible, which is hard to swallow and harmful to a wholesome view of life and to people. At times they, persons in them, even become vicious in their attitudes. I think you found a good. I think you found one which would be alright. Most close to get to my school work. 10 hours this semester and 2 next. May see me with my Bachelor of Divinity next June. You need to speak to me now. Okay, speak. What I do? Is there something you know that I don't? I'm listening. So, what man had a daughter named Stacy? I'm confused. My Insta? I'm verified on there. It's at Heather McCord 1123. Same username as on here. And the link should be on my page too. But what man are you talking about? No, he had a granddaughter named Stacy, and his daughter's last name was Stacy. Because Joan and Jack were Joan and Jack Stacy. Let me see. I would love to go and have a bonfire, I swear to Christ, but I can't. And then Alta's mother was the famous whistling lady in Iowa, which she was one of the elders of that cult too. But yeah. Stella Hayden. Bettendorf, Iowa, Davenport, Iowa area until 1989, February 1989, when they took me to Texas to live with Linda and Ralph, and Linda chopped, they always made sure to have my hair short. For example, trying to hide somebody in plain sight as a boy. It's John and Jack, Stacy. Yeah. Hide me in plain sight. Make people think I'm a boy. I wasn't even allowed to start shaving till high school. Matter of fact, a friend of mine taught me how to shave. I was never allowed to wear makeup. There's nobody here. I mean, and then I have my hand going. That's it. You might want to go out and come back in, maybe, but yeah, it's just me here. I don't know. It's just me. Um, yeah. So, still trying to deal with with everything, and trying to, come to terms with everything, and then I have the thoughts that go through my head, like most survivors and victims, well, a lot, anyway. Yeah, when you're kidnapped and everything, and you're trying to figure out who you really are, and you have these thoughts that go through your mind because of everything you've been through and the things that were done to you. Um, you wonder, like, when my family and I get, reconnect, when it's proven who I am, my family and I are reunited, and they find out everything, are they going to think I'm too damaged? Or are they going to be patient with me? Are they going to believe me? And then when it all comes out, and obviously everybody knows how I feel about Frankie. Is it going to change how he sees me? Shit. Is that what will get him to change his mind about me or how he sees me? You know? I don't think I have anything to worry about with my parents, my real family. I think, I think they'll be grateful that, I've been found or whatever, but the one thing I'm worried about is once everything comes out, and once details about what happened to me come out, is the only man I've ever been in love with going to look at me differently? I mean, what if he does feel the same way and then finds out everything I've been through and then is he gonna think I'm too damaged? Or it's already been confirmed I was, so let's not even go there. It's already been confirmed. It's been confirmed by law enforcement and by people in that cult, so... I didn't want any of this. Because they don't fucking know. I've had it confirmed by someone who's entwined with that cult. Because he was a victim too. And when he got to a certain age, he was taken around to the houses to take the children out of the cages. The other person that confirmed it was someone I've known for over 20 years, who's part of that fucking cult, who also works in an agency for the government, who's seen the file. He doesn't know who I am because my real name in it is blacked out. But they know who the fuck I am. But he doesn't. Because what he has, my real name is blacked out. The FBI has known this whole time who I really am. You want to know about it? Go read the Epstein files. Because it's been going on a lot longer than... It's been going on for hundreds of years. There's more than just that island. There's multiple islands. I'm just one of the survivors that has to deal with this shit. And now that I'm thinking about things, I don't think the trafficking stopped after I escaped. I just think they got more cautious. Like that apartment with the tunnel in the bedroom. I've talked about memories a lot on here. Over the past year or two, about 2 years. Year and a half, 2 years. And all the fucked up shit I remember that I've talked about, that I've dated. People are reading in the fucking files. I was the only one that was legitimately kidnapped as far as I know. And I was never supposed to be taken. She was never supposed to take me. That's what they have said. All I want is to find out, finally prove who I really am, be reunited with my family. My real family. And hope to God I hope Frankie doesn't. I hope it doesn't change his mind about me. And you're full of shit. And you're full of shit, right? To the people that have been watching for a long time or whatever, how often has my story ever changed? But you come on here in a fake account or want to run your mouth or whatever, you got the wrong one, bitch. Oh, look at your miserable self. My story has never changed. Everything I've talked about my memories a lot over about over a year. And now the Epstein files are released, and guess what? Everything that I've said in that I've remembered and I've talked about, guess what's in the Epstein files? But you coming on here says more about you than about me because I've been nothing but honest and real. You, on the other hand, want to come on here trying to re-traumatize me, trying to get people to not believe me. You're a miserable human being who likes to re-traumatize victims. You psychopath. Anyone that does this shit has no soul. Right, tenderhearted? You said, oh, another story. You know, isn't it funny? Just the other day I said I know I still have fakes and that they would expose themselves. Congrats. Thank you. One less thing I gotta worry about. One less moron I gotta worry about. Oh, the ancestry test that I did, yeah, my DNA was never tested and it was never done correctly. You want to know why? Because the guy that's in charge of the ancestry DNA testing, was in charge of mine, is actually related to my abductors. And I have evidence of it. I've been slowly getting memories coming back, yes. One of the first memories I ever had that came back was when I was sitting in my car. In the summer of 2023. And I've talked about this memory long before these files ever came out. I was sitting in my car and I was getting ready to make a video or something. And it was like I was transported, or it was weird. But all of a sudden it was like I was in this basement or dungeon or whatnot. There were other children. There were adults. The room or whatever we were in, the walls were stone. Like rocks, not like bricks, but it's like rock stones, pebbles type. There was a, like if you're facing this way, there would be a pillar with a torch, and then behind it there would be a fireplace, and then another pillar with a torch, and then another fireplace. There were about 3 fireplaces. Children screaming. The cannibalism didn't always happen after the children's passing either. They did it when the children would be still alive. And the children would fight and beg and plead till they couldn't anymore. Sorry. You know, it's funny, it's already been proven I'm not mentally unstable, you psychopath. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. This whole thing that you've been doing has been going on for so long. You look really pathetic. You know that, right? Come on fake accounts or whatever, or being paid to come on, and this is a whole rerun that you're doing. Been there, done that. You should probably stop wasting your time. Well, it could be a couple people. Could be one of the psychotic family members in the family I was in. It could be one of the fucked up Illuminati members. It could be somebody that's paid to do this, like they were before. You should probably go get a life. When everything I've said has come out in the files, in the Epstein files, and I said all the shit long before it ever came out. You want to try again? God sees everything. God, huh? The Christian God is not what you think. And you should really remember. Be careful what you say to people. Especially me. Let me make myself abundantly clear. If you don't know what things I'm capable of, ask anybody on here. All I do is I make predictions and then they end up happening. I have a whole goddamn cult scared of me. They've proven that multiple times. If I have to take these motherfuckers down myself, so motherfucking be it. I've dealt with the harassment, the stalk, and all of that bullshit that's going on now. Been there, done that. It's a fucking rerun, and these are new people that have been paid to do what they're doing. So to my mods, how many mods do I have on here right now? Do I have any mods on here right now? Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. If anybody says anything foolish, like's been going on tonight, just block them immediately. Don't wait for me to say anything. Just do it. It's okay. It's alright, I understand. I'm one of the survivors. For those of you who are new here, and are trying to figure out what my story is, I was kidnapped when I was very little, and I was trafficked. And I've talked about my memories and that on here before. Long before the Epstein files came out. And I am now being told, and I've been being told, that everything I've said, my memories, they're all in the Epstein files. I don't know if I'm in the Epstein files or not. But this has been going on for hundreds of years, and I am one of the survivors. And one of the leaders of that goddamn fucked up cult, they called her grandmother Hayden. I called her great grandma. Her name was Alta Aryan. I don't read I'm not reading the files. No, I can tell you right now that I'm not going to read any of them, and neither are any of the survivors. I can guarantee you none of us are going to read them. We don't need to. I've been told what I don't remember is far worse than what I do remember. And I'm hearing things that I didn't know, and I'm... and seeing pictures and things like that. Everything in those files happened. Hi. No. See how easy that was? No. I'm not saying that stupid shit. Because it's stupid shit. How old do you think I am? Kick rocks. Why? What? I gotta ask. What the fuck makes you think I was born in 1975 or 1976, whatever? What makes you think that? I know. To the person on the fake account there, isn't it past your bedtime, child? Probably past your bedtime. You might want to go get your mommy. Tell her you want your bottle. I'm sure she'll rock you to sleep. It's all corrupt. Who do you think controls the media? The same ones that control the world. What's your name, Kit Kat? That's the name you're using, Kit Kat. You should go tell your mommy you want your bottle so she can rock you to go to sleep. It's the one, Kit Kat or whatever, that one. Oh, go get your mommy to rock you to sleep. It's past your bedtime. You wanna act like a fucking child? Now I'm getting the feeling that the ones that have been coming in and that some are on actual accounts, which is interesting. Not really, because there's a couple different options of who they could be. Um, they could be like before being paid to do it. They could be part of that cult too. Because they're doing this to all the survivors on here. They're doing it to all of us. Yeah. Why do you think they're all about pro-life? Why do you think they're all pro-life? It's not about... Think about why these people would want to force women to have babies and not let the women choose what happens to their own bodies. Who's interested in how my mind works? I'm confused. They're not interested in how my mind works. These people are vile, disgusting creatures that need to pay for everything they've done. let me explain something. I played stupid for a very long time for my own safety. And I was so convincing and so good at it that they believe I'm stupid. They really believe I'm stupid. My IQ is 149. I'm far from stupid. 7th grade, we all did a IQ test, right? My guidance counselor comes in. I'm sitting in the class. It's like study hall or whatever. He comes up to me and sits down next to me. He's like, "I have some great news for him." And I looked at him. He's like, he told me I had the highest IQ of the whole school district. I had the highest IQ of the whole school district. And I begged him not to tell my family. I'm in school for criminal justice. But I'm also disabled for physical. I have Hashimoto's disease. I have really bad osteoporosis. I'm at a high risk of breaking a hip in the next 5 years. I have diverticulitis, or arthritis throughout my body. I'm in school for criminal justice, and I've actually taken now a very long hiatus from following my dreams of the entertainment business. Obvious reasons as to why I'm on a long hiatus. But the company I'm associated with is the company you want to be associated with. And they would not have anything to do with me or associate with me if I had any type of mental illness like these morons are trying to claim. And then when you get emails from a modeling company you auditioned for when you were homeless in your car, and you were one of the top 10 picked out of other models. I was one of the top 10. I didn't do it, but I got an email a couple months ago from that same company wanting me to do it. No. Preview models. I met one of the winners of America's Next Top Model when I went and auditioned for that company. Right now, for my class this term, I am studying juvenile justice system. I've already written my final paper. About the mental health and the juvenile justice system. So, then on February 20th, I have surgery. Yay. At least I'm getting the fucker taken out and not replaced. Ouch. It does. Well, here's the thing. I've been studying criminal justice and law and serial unalivers and all that kind of stuff since for a very long time for fun. I have the mind of a detective. I always have. I've always studied cases and things like that. I used to have the encyclopedias of serial killers and a bunch of other books, true crime books. And I started studying it because I wanted to be a profiler for the FBI. And that was in like 1990, 1991. I started studying criminals and things like that because I wanted to be a detective or work for the FBI or something. And now I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do anything with the criminal justice system because look how fucking corrupt it is. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with it, even if I only graduate and don't do anything with it, at least I accomplished it. Or maybe I will do something with it. I don't know, you never know what the future holds, right? I don't know what's to come. All I know is I want to be happy. And I deserve to have a happily ever after. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have the life I want. And most of all, I deserve justice. And so do the rest of the victims. I've said many, many times, in order to truly help people, you have you have to be able to understand what they've been through. And the only true way to be able to truly help someone and truly understand it and be able to comprehend it and help them the right way is you have to go through that shit yourself and you have to experience it yourself. So maybe the reason I've experienced all the fucked up, horrific shit I experienced, and the fact that I am still mentally, intact. Maybe the reason is because I'm supposed to help the other survivors and other people. Maybe I'm supposed to help a lot of people because of everything I've been through, you know. Oh, I'm yeah. That's neither here nor there. I'm definitely an empath. I'm also able to touch people and physically take away their pain just by touching them. I've been told that multiple times by many people. I have babies drawn to me. I have children drawn, children, babies, wild animals, period. I have a picture of me holding a baby mole that came out of the ground after this thing was broken that I had that, well, was most likely cursed. But maybe, like I said, maybe the reason I survived everything I did and went through everything, all the fucking hell that I did. Maybe, like I said, it's so I can help others. I don't know what you think this is ego boosting. You just come in here and run your mouth. You got the wrong one. This has nothing about boosting my ego. I don't know what you think you're talking, or who you think you're talking to, but you're not. You got the wrong live. So you can scroll on. Because I'm not the one that tolerates that shit. People are miserable with their own existence and try and bring others down because of it. They like to project themselves onto others. I've said that multiple times, many times. There's a lot of islands from my understanding. One is called Candyland. Let me make something clear to everyone that doesn't know yet or hasn't figured it out. Remember when Michael Jackson's name was run through the mud and all the accusations and everything? Have you guys figured out yet that Michael Jackson was actually trying to save the children? He was saving the children. That's why he had Neverland, was to save them. Because he didn't conform to what they wanted him to do, and he was basically going against what they wanted, what they were doing. That's when they decided to destroy his reputation. Michael Jackson did absolutely nothing wrong but try and be a hero and try and help those children and save as many children as possible. Macaulay Culkin said he saved him because they were getting ready to put him on a plane to Epstein Island. And Michael took him to Neverland instead. He never had a childhood. He was abused as a child and everything else. There's things I'm sure that he went through that he never spoke on either. That was done to him. Which is why he had Neverland. And why he was trying to save as many children as possible from this. Michael Jackson was a hero. And they took his life. They took his life. That was no accident. They got him to trust this piece of shit supposed doctor. And I'm sure that doctor was paid by someone to do what he did. To take Michael's life. I knew he never did anything. First time I ever heard about it, I was a huge fan of Michael's, I still am. First time it came out back then, I knew that he didn't do anything. Because of everything I've been through and the people, I knew. I could tell what kind of person a person is very quickly. And it's very easy to do it when I meet him in person too, but unfortunately I never met Michael, but I could tell. When you look at people, some people just they draw you in, then some give you the heebie-jeebies and make you want to run. And then others make you want to throat punch them. And sometimes it's 2 and 3. Yeah. But it was mainly because he was saving the children. Like when it came out about him, I knew he didn't do it. When it came out about Bill Cosby, I knew he did do it. I knew Bill Cosby did it. Aaron Carter said that they tried to get him to say that Michael did something to him. And he says, "Mom, what are you doing?" And he refused. He said Michael never did anything to him. Aaron Carter said Michael never did anything to him. Macaulay Culkin said Michael never did anything to him. Corey Feldman said Michael never did anything to him. And Corey Feldman gave FBI and law enforcement names of ones that did do shit, and they didn't fucking do a fucking thing. They were all about Michael. Yeah, I should tell everybody something about law enforcement FBI right there. These kids who they're trying to get to say that back then that Michael did something to them, and they said Michael didn't do anything, but this person, that person did. And the FBI was not interested in those other people who actually did things, but Michael, who never did a fucking thing. and they victimized him. They traumatized Michael intentionally by making him strip naked and going over his. He was so embarrassed, and it was so traumatizing for him, and it was done intentionally. Here's one thing I've noticed. I don't know why it's like this, but a lot of times it's like this. It seems to me that a lot of people, when it comes to victims, real victims, they will try to re-traumatize, re-victimize the victims, the survivors, and the good ones. But then when it comes to perpetrators, I'm going to say 3 letters, and I'm sure everybody will figure out who I'm talking about. GRB, for example. Everybody's worshiping her, and yes, Queen, go Queen, this and the other. And I'm willing to bet, her in particular, she had her mother convinced Dee Dee was a victim. That had her name and reputation run through the mud. Based on lies that See You Next Tuesday has told so many times. People idolizing unalivers and ones that are not victims and shit like that, but then going and re-traumatizing victims and trying to hurt actual victims. I'll never understand it. I've tried. I'm basically giving up on trying to understand why certain people are doing what they're doing, because it's been so long and they don't give up. So at this point, the best thing to do is just to ignore the morons and just block them whenever they say something stupid. And let them keep making new accounts like they have before. Only this time it's a whole new set of people. And which is what I mean by they're either being paid to do what they're doing, because it's not just, I'm not the only survivor this is happening to. It's happening to all the survivors. We're being harassed. Look what's been said earlier, right? People are being paid to do it. I think people are being paid to do it because the last time this was going on with me, with the stalkers, the harassment, being live streamed and all that shit, those people were paid to do it. And even some of them admitted it. And even said how much they got paid to do it. One got paid $4,500 to talk shit about me on her live. $4,500 just to sit on live stream me and talk mad shit about me and try to discredit me. $4,500 to do that. And then look at all the others, too. They were all paid. I told y'all, there's a large bounty. I know there's a very large bounty on my head. Whoever can get me to shut up, to discredit me, to shut me up, whatever. They have been promised things beyond their wildest imaginations by this fucked up cult. And people are dumb enough to do it. Okay, I'll do it. I'll make her life a living hell and re-traumatize her and do everything I can to shut her the fuck up. Yay, I'm gonna get everything I ever wanted. You're gonna lose your fucking soul. You ain't gonna get shit. You're gonna lose your fucking soul. That's what's funny. These people are getting paid, but then they're promised so much money afterwards, as long as they can get me shut up or whatever. But do you want to know what actually happened if they actually did? I'm telling you right now, they lose their souls and probably their lives in the end. They're not gonna get shit for doing this. Trust me, they're gonna be taken out. That's why they choose stupid people to do it. You remember around Christmas time when those certain stores were having, like, you go stand in line, I think it was Target and Lowe's, that kind of thing. You wouldn't stand in line for 24 hours, whatever, and then you got this good goodie bag or whatever for free, right? And so many people went and did this. And I don't know why people do anything for free shit. Or for money, right? And a lot of them were disappointed because they got crap. And I'm trying to figure out why anybody would be dumb enough to do that. Does nobody figure out that the reason those little giveaways were going around on Christmas, the government might just be wanting to see who's dumb enough to do what they're told to do for a little cheap shit? Who's willing to go stand in a line for something that they don't know what they're getting? For 24 hours or whatever. Y'all remember what you learned about the Holocaust? Remember how they told the Jewish people and people in the camps that they were going to take a shower? And they were all excited they were going to get the shower? And they all lined up for it? Remember? Y'all remember reading about that? Hearing about that? Learning about that? I want everybody, if you know, I suggest everybody go look up the timeline of the Holocaust. Go look up the timeline of the Holocaust. And look up when each thing happened, in what order it happened. And then I want you to think about what's been going on the past year or two here. And I want you to then think about what similarities do you see? Or I could just explain it. After Schwittler was elected, right? Elected chancellor. You know what he did? He built a ballroom. You know what the ballroom actually was? I think it was a weapons place or something. It wasn't an actual ballroom. Shocking. Just like, right? And then did you know that they started deporting Jews to another country? I think it was Hungary. Or it might have been Turkey. I can't remember which. But they started gathering up and deporting them. And you know what they did as soon as they got to these places, the camps? They would shave their heads. Right? Do you remember then, eventually, that the Schwarzes started going door to door and going into people's homes and searching them for the Jews? And if anybody was caught with hiding any Jewish people, they were taken, right? Didn't J.D. Vance tell ICE that they could go door to door, and that's what ICE is doing, and that they can go in people's homes? Isn't that what they said? Not that long ago? First it was the Jews, then it was the disabled and the elderly and the LGBTQI+. First it was the Hispanics. Y'all figuring it out yet? I warned everybody about what was going to happen, and I warned everybody in 2023. I was called fear-mongering. I was called fear-mongering. I warned everybody in 2023 what was about to happen. I could see it. I knew. I don't think anybody realizes what's about to happen. And all you have to do to realize what's about to happen is go look at the past. Go do your research on the Holocaust. Now, one thing is for sure that I can guarantee you. Something is going on behind the scenes. Something big right now is going on behind the scenes. Why do you think they released the Epstein files finally after fighting so hard not to? For so long. They finally released them to distract everyone from what they're doing. And for this type of distraction, God help us all. God help us all. So when World War II ended, what year was it? Like 1945 or something like that? What happened to Hitler? We know what supposedly happened. But what really happened? The world's already ended. I think the world's ended a few times. It's happened a few times. If you pay attention to what's going on around you, you might figure out what this really is. We're in hell. This is hell. It is 3:14 in the morning. I'm going to have to end this because I am tired. I need to get some rest. I have my pre-op appointment today. So, good night. So I'm going to end this for now. I'm going to bed. Try to sleep anyway. I hope you all have a great night. And until next time, I will see you all later. Have a good night, guys.